Ladies and gentlemen, we are at that time of the day for the command that will start the 75th running of this event. Here to give the traditional 4 words is Chairman Emeritus of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Board, Mrs. Mary Fendrick Hallman.
Get your arm, get your leg over this way.
Which way? I can.
Okay.
Just say it now.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Just as it was 80 years and 75 races ago, the roar begins to build on the main stretch. The 33 are ready. The sound dwarfs the cheers of the crowd. 80 years ago, it was 80,000. Now, nearly 500,000 people to watch 33 of the finest, ready to race on a Sunday afternoon in Indiana. Take a look at the starting field once again for the 74th running of the great Indianapolis 500. They come off the 4th turn, the first row. Fittipaldi, Mears, Ari Landike is number 1. In the 2nd row, Bobby Rahal, Michael and Mario Andretti. The 3rd row, Al Unser Jr., A.J. Foyt, Danny Sullivan. In the 4th row, it's John Andretti, Dominic Dobson, Randy Lewis. The 5th row, Tony Bettenhouse, and the fastest rookie Eddie Cheever and Kevin Kogan. Back in the 6th row, Tero Palmroth of Finland, Raoul Boisel of Brazil, and Gary Bettenhouse. Row 7, Jeff Brabham of Australia, Didier Tays of Belgium, and Scott Goodyear. The 8th row, Pancho Carter, Teo Fabi, rookie Dean Hall. The 9th row, Tom Sneva, Scott Brayton, and Stan Fox. In the final 2 rows, the 10th row, Roberto Guerrero, Jim Crawford, and Al Unser, the 4-time winner. And in the 11th and final row, Billy Vukovic, the grandson of the 2-time winner, John Paul Jr., and the 33rd qualifier, Rocky Moran. Rick Mears in that front row. Al Unser Jr. sitting back, 3 rows behind. The field coming to full alignment now. Off to the 4th turn. We watch for Dwayne Sweeney, the starter, with a green flag. The green flag is out, and the 74th running of the Indianapolis 500 is underway. Fittipaldi leads Mears into the first turn.
The cars of Roger Penske did not lead a single lap in last year's race. There were 3 of them in that race. There are 2 of them now running first and second.
Leading the race this early is not important to him. As we know historically, he will come in. The pit crew will change his car and he'll be good again. But now Mario is a charger. He's a charger from the start. He's a charger till the end. So I would have expected this, Paul.
An analysis of the qualifying time suggests that Mario's car is set in such a way it has very little more top speed than it has turn speed. He spent all month setting up for this moment when the race would begin, and he had a car that really felt stable underneath him. Obviously, he's using it to full advantage.
So very early on, plenty of fights here on the course. Rick Mears now moving around the traffic. That's Tero Palmroth of Finland that lies just ahead, and Michael is coming up to challenge Rick. They both come out to the inside on the backstretch. Wow, so close together, and Michael. Can he hold on down the inside? Oh, it's going to be tight.
Oh, Rick holds on. You never used to see him do that, run that high groove to defend himself. Incredible driving, Rick Mears.
So very early in the Indianapolis 500, 13 laps complete. Now we're with Michael.
Short of a full race, the clouds are very dark to the south.
That could definitely figure into the race. In fact, these teams will do some incredible. Up, Tero Palmroth has a fire in the engine compartment. He's not in danger, but he wanted to get it stopped as quick as he could. Now they're trying to get his helmet, which is snapped on a little tether to the side of the car to help keep his head upright.
He's one of the biggest drivers too in the race. It's hard to get him in and out of a cockpit.
And we go yellow with this situation as there's Tero is out and free of the race car.
When you're in that and you're stuck in it and you don't, in the panic of the moment, you don't know why you can't get out, you can just be terrified.
Now we're approaching the halfway point in the race. The halfway point being 100 laps. That's 15 laps away now. We are under yellow because of this situation, but as suggested, the clouds overhead are getting much darker. There is the possibility of the rain. That will figure into the race as well. We'll be back. Paul Newman, co-owner with Carl Haas on the Newman-Haas team. His car, Michael Andretti at the wheel, is in the lead. And just over his shoulder there, $1 million operation. They use a number 10 can to help keep the vent covered over in case of moisture.
Newman, of course, has been the co-owner of this team since the early 1980s. There's Tero Palmroth's car being carried away. He's in good shape. We saw him wave to the crowd. Newman would desperately like to see a victory today. It would confirm and all of the years of waiting.
Paul Newman board with the yellow flag. Roger Penske, he's keeping an eye on his cars. Next Saturday at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock Central on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour. The sport's best pair up and take aim at the $142,500 purse in the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic live. And then at 3:30 Central Time on Wide World of Sports, it's the broadcast premiere of the controversial Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock heavyweight war. And what a war it is. Plus the Advil Mini Marathon from New York City. It all begins Saturday here on ABC Sports. Well, they cleaned the track up. Still under yellow from Tero Palmroth's fire in the engine compartment. Let's get an update on Michael from Gary Gerald.
Well, Paul, of course, he's been battling up here with the lead. Just as he came in for that last pit stop, he was on the radio hollering, loose, loose, loose.
Well, Michael Andretti, of course, runs at the lead. There's Tero Palmroth, number 23, sitting by the edge of the course. This is what happened. You can see some puffs of smoke coming out of the back. Apparently something broke in there and set fire to the engine compartment. Looked to me like an oil fire, Bobby.
Well, it could have been an oil fire, could have been fuel, Paul, because once the fuel gets to burning also, it'll burn some of the materials around there. Most likely, though, it's an oil fire.
Tero himself forgot about that tether. He was so anxious to get out of that car, you can well understand that.
A driver's biggest fear is naturally fire. Boy, you can just see with him, he doesn't want to negotiate this deal. He wants out of that car.
If that name sounds a little unfamiliar, he's from Finland, where he worked in the shoe business that made his family so prosperous. Very nice man.
But like so many others here, his dream has been to drive the Indianapolis 500. We go back to the situation that caused this yellow.
Tero Palmroth, you see him there now, owning with 3 wheels. The Finnish driver, a true gentleman, makes no bones about the fact that he bought his ride. Incidentally, it was his birthday today. He's 36.
Some mechanics going to be in trouble for that one, Sam. Looks like they probably left the tire loose. Lucky it didn't hit another car hit it, rather.
Tero Palmroth, wheel comes off. He is able to turn down into the pit area without any other more serious consequence.
He controls it very nicely. To salute him in Finnish, I would say Sepä hauska. Tero, that means very good.
All right, Emerson Fittipaldi with little Al hand up in the air on the backstretch, riding in second place. He's lined up.